Yes.
Oh, okay, thank you. All right, there is your project number 13. So we're going to go ahead and go over project number 13, and there is 14. I already posted that blueprint, so you guys should have a print for those two projects. So let's go and work with project number 13. Let me go ahead, turn the video on here and my recording on.
Recording in progress.
Okay, so on project number 13, uh, if you look at here, this is your isometric view right there. And this is going to be my origin. That's where we're going to start. So we're going to start with the construction plane top. And in construction plane top, with that origin, we're going to create this arc right here. This arc right here. That arc is radius 1-inch arc. And then we're going to create another arc over here that is radius 1/2 inch arc right here. Once we have those two arcs, we're going to create a tangent line right here to these two. So that's we're going to do in the construction plane top. Then here you see section A-A. This is something we're going to do in construction plane front. This drawing here, we're going to do in construction plane front. And this drawing here, section B-B, we're going to do this drawing here in construction plane right. So this is going to be on the top plane. This is going to be in the front plane. This is going to be in the right plane. So let's get started with the top plane drawing. This one here, we're going to create arc polar, this radius 1 inch. Then I'm going to create arc. The center point of the arc is going to be 4 inches. This is half. So it's going to be 3.5. So let's go to here. We are in 2D. Construction plane is top. And we're going to start wireframe. Let me change my color here. We're going to go color green. So wireframe arc polar. And that arc with that center point, I'm going to start arc from there to here. And that radius of that arc is 1 inch right here. So put the radius 1 inch. Okay. And then we have an arc radius 0.5 over here. The center point, the center point is going to be, this is 4 inches. The edge is 4 inches. So the center of this arc is going to be 4 inches minus 0.5, which is x 3.5, y 0. That's going to be the center right there. Okay, so we're going to go ahead, create that arc. Here is my auto cursor. So x is minus 3.5 comma y 0. And there is my point, start center point. I can just eyeball it from there to here, and my radius is 0.5. There you go. And now we can just go ahead and create a line endpoint. Make sure your tangent option is on. And line tangent. So this is going to be specified the first endpoint. This is going to be tangent to here and tangent to that. Same thing, tangent to this point to this side. And hit OK. We can trim it or we can use divide option, doesn't matter. So use divide option, get rid of this excess arc on both sides, and we are good. Go to isometric view, and this is going to be my arc, and this is what we have done on the top view. Okay, there you go. Okay. I'm going to draw a line over here on the X and on the Y. So here is my line endpoints, and I can go line vertical here. And this is going to be my axis offset is 0. And I'm going to draw another line right here, horizontal line. And axis offset is going to be 0 over here too. And then I can divide and get rid of this, 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 and this. So these lines, I have drawn these lines so because we'll be using an arc over here, this arc right here, and this is the line I have drawn, this line right there on the top if you see it. And this is another line I have drawn right here. So these are the two lines we did it. So the reason we did that, because when we're going to draw this construction plane in the front, this drawing here, this arc is going to be tangent to that line right here. So I'll show you. And same thing on this line, this arc here on the right side is going to be tangent to this line here, and this arc is tangent to that line. And same thing, this arc is going to be tangent to that. That's why we have done that. Okay, let me go ahead and clear this a little bit so we can work on that. All right. Okay, so we're done in the top plane. Let's work on section A-A in the front. So in the front plane, I'm going to draw this radius 0.5 line here, arc, I'm sorry, that is going to be tangent to this, and there is another radius 0.2 arc. So before we do that, from the center line, from the center point, I'm going to create this line here, and then offset that line to 250. So from the center point, let's draw this line. Because this arc is radius 1 inch, so that distance is 1 inch. So we're going to draw from the center. So let's go to construction plane front. We are in construction plane front. So we're going to create a line. You can do horizontal line, right one on the center. There we go. I'm sorry, vertical line up to here. Axis offset is 0. That's good. So hit OK. And then I'm going to go and offset that line to 50. Offset. Entity this offset over here, which is going to be this distance is 0.25. So I look at this. I draw one line here from the center, vertical. Then I offset that 250. Now I'm going to draw another horizontal line right here at y minus 1.2. So let's draw that horizontal line. A line horizontal from there to there and that axis offset is 1.2. It's right here, 1.2. So axis offset minus 1.2. So divide, get rid of this, get rid of this, and this right there. Hit OK. This is what we got. So if you look at this drawing, we got this, we're done with this area. Now there are three arcs. There are three arcs we have to draw. Actually, four arcs. This arc radius 1.5 is tangent to that point with this line. Then this arc is going to be another 0.5 is another tangent. Let's draw these two arcs first, and there's another arc tangent to here is 0.5 arc. So let's draw this 1.5 radius, and this one is going to be 1.5 radius. 0.5, and this one is also 0.5, typical. These two are 0.5 radius. So go to front view. We at Z0, create arc, tangent. The radius of the arc is 0.5. And select the entity that is tangent to. This is going to be tangent to, and the tangent point. This is my tangent point. And this is select an arc. This is my arc. Same thing we're going to do on this side. Hit OK. Arc tangent. So select the entity that arc is tangent to. It's going to tangent to this line. And it says where the specify the tangent point. My tangent point is end point of this line right there. Select an arc, make sure the radius is 0.5 here, and this is my arc right there. Okay, so same thing we're going to do here. If you look at the blueprint, I have done this arc here, radius 0.5 arc, which is right there, and right here, two arcs. Now let's draw this arc over here, 0.200, and this arc over here, 0.500 radius. So select the arc is tangent to, this is 0.5 radius. Move this drawing a little bit so you can pick up that line. That arc is going to be tangent to this guy, and it's asking the tangent point. The tangent point is going to be end point right here, and it says select an arc. This is going to be my arc. Is this arc right here? If you look at here, I drawn this arc right there. And now we can draw arc tangent to two entities or fillet, radius 6 inches. This guy right there, this one right there, 6 inches. Okay, so we get okay. So you can either use tangent arc or let's try fillet. Fillet entities. Make sure you put the radius 6 inches. There we go. And the fillet is going to be tangent to this and this guy right there. Click it. It says select the fillet to use. This is my fillet right there. Here. And that will meet this right over here, tangent to that. I said do not trim it, so we can meet over there. Same thing over here is good. Okay. Hit OK. This has to be tangent to this. This is Let's try undo it. Check this radius here is 0.5 radius. Okay, that's good. So I'll create arc tangent to two entities. The radius is 6 inches. So I'm going to tangent to this guy and this guy right there. And there is my arc right there. Perfect. And we can divide, get rid of this, get rid of this. And now we're going to draw arc tangent to this, which is going to be a radius right here, 200,000 radius. Okay, let's try this one. In the same construction plane front, and select the curve, divide, delete, we don't need that. I'm going to go arc tangent to one entity. Select the arc tangent to, is going to be tangent to this guy. The radius of that arc is 0.200. Tangent to this. Tangent point is right here, and select an arc. This is my arc right there. And if you look at here, that arc is right here, this one, 200,000. This one. And now we're going to go tangent to that, and tangent to that, we're going to use 1.5 radius arc. So let's do that. So we can do fillet, or we can do arc tangent again, two entities. That radius is 1.5. So we tangent to this and that. And I'm going to select that arc. That's going to be this arc right there. If you look at here, that's the arc. There you go, perfect. Hit OK. Go to divide command, get rid of this and get rid of that. OK. So looking at the front view, we completed that drawing. If you look at here, guys, this is what we have done in the front view. OK. So now we're going to work on this guy in the construction plane right. So this radius 200,000 arc is going to go right there, here, and there. So let's go ahead and draw this line, horizontal line here first, which is going to be 1.2. Let's go to construction plane right. Go to right plane. There we go. Construction plane right. Line horizontal. And that distance horizontal is what? 1.2. Minus 1.2. Here we are. And let's create those We are in construction plane right, so I'm going to create arc, tangent, one entity, radius is 0.200. This is right here, radius 0.200, two places, one here and one there. So radius 0.200, arc tangent to this entity, tangent point is right there. Oh no, it should be one entity, not two. Arc tangent one entity. Tangent to this entity, tangent point is right there. And we're going to select this arc. Hit OK. Same radius, arc tangent to this, and tangent point is right here. That's my arc. Hit OK. Now there is my arc here, two places, 0.5, this here and this tangent to that line. So create those two arcs. Then we're going to create another arc, which is going to radius 1.5. So let's create this half an inch arc right here first. Okay, 0.5 arc. Arc tangent to this and tangent point is right here. I want this arc. Arc tangent to this line and tangent point is going to be right here at this, about this line, endpoint of this line right there. Let's select an arc. This is my arc. So we got those two arcs right there. Hit OK. Now once we got that, we can create this arc here, 1.5 arc radius to this 200,000 radius arc and half an inch. So we're going to create this arc right here with the radius 1.5. Okay, put the radius 1.5 over here. Arc tangent to two entities. Two entities, radius 1.5. That is going to be tangent to this guy. Make sure we are still in the construction plane right, guys. Tangent to this and that. Here is my arc. Tangent to this and this. There is my arc right there. And hit OK. Let's go to divide command and clean this out. Clear. Divide that one. We don't need this guy. We don't need this guy. And that cleans up the geometry. And that pretty much completes the geometry. And these constructions line, I can put it at a different level and I can hide it because we're going to do the toolpath. All these lines, we don't need that. I can put in a different level. Go to level 2. Use level, let's put level 3 over here. And you can say construction line. Construction geometry. Here. So I can go that level, I can turn those off. And that finishes my geometry right here. So if you look at that, that finishes your geometry. Now we have to create a surface right here on this. So to create a surface, under surface, we'll be using a net surface. So to net surface, we should have a cross and along entities. So, so on the net surface, we're going to start from a point and end up to a point right here. So what we have to do, we have to break this arc over here so I can start from here, my geometry, and end up right here. So I have to break this over here. So another geometry, I'm going to start from the same start point and end up at the same end point. And same thing, the third one is going to start from here and it's going to end up right here. So go to break command, break into two pieces. I want to break this. It says select an entity to break. I want to break this. It says indicate the break position. This is my break position right there. Now I'm going to break this arc over here, right there. So it says select the entity to break. I want to break this guy over. It says break position and point up right there. Break right there. So look at that. I broke these two arcs. Okay, now we are good. Hit the escape key and let's create a surface. Surface net. It says select chain one. Chain one, I'm going to start from here, end up right here. So that way we have to use partial chain. So pick partial. We're going to start from here. It's just like the last entity. This is my last entity. Chain two, I'm going to start from here. Was my last entity. This is my last entity. Select chain three. I'm going to start from here. And I'm going to end up right there, last entity right there. Chain four, I'm still partial. I'm going to start from here, going down. And where is my last entity? This is my last entity. And chain, hit OK. There's my surface right there. Hit OK. Let's do it one more time. So keep that in mind that you're going to break this arc. The one we have created, we have to break this arc over here where this meet. And same thing, we have to break this arc at this point right there. So this is very important. The reason why we do that, we start a chain. So that's how Mastercam is going to create a surface for each chain where it start and where it ends. So we're going to start from here, end up right here, chain one. Second one, we're going to start at the same start point, end up at the same start point. And third one, start at the same point, end up at the same point. And this one is going to be my across chain right here, the last one. So I'll go to net surface and make sure you use your partial chain. Don't use a chain command. If you pick chain command, it's going to go select this whole entire chain. That is not good. Unselect, go to partial, select the first entity, make sure you start from this end so your arrow goes into this direction. Last entity of this chain is right here. That's last entity. Going to chain two, first entity, it starts from here going in this direction. Last entity, this is my last entity right there. Chain three, first entity, last entity is right there. Chain four, we are still in partial. First entity, make sure you start from this endpoint. So your arrow goes in that direction. Last is right there. and chain. Hit OK. Fly, hit OK. Hit the escape key. There we are. Under levels, we can move surface to level 2. So go and select all the surfaces right here. Select all surfaces. Right click and change that to level 2. And we can name that surfaces. There we are. You can go level 1 and turn surface on. Level 1 geometry, turn that off. There we are. That finishes your project number 13. I'm going to go ahead and pause the recording.
Recording stopped.
The recording.
So there we are, guys. There we are. All right, that concludes your project number 13, and there is comes number 14. So let's go ahead and talk about project number 14. Okay, so in project number 14, we have this part and has a little boss over here. You look at the top view, you look at the front view right here, and this is the isometric view, and this is another view, view A-A, which is, there is your A and B. Doesn't show me here. Yeah, it shows your the radius of the boss and the whole the boss, which is right here. So let's start on the same thing we're going to do in the top plane. I'm going to draw. Okay, there is something I want you guys to make a change. This is very important. This is very important, guys. Make a note on this. This radius right here, this radius is not 1.125. That radius is 1.275. Please make a note. This radius right here, the one we're going to draw, a radius right here, and there's going to be one over here. That's what first thing we're going to draw. So that radius is 1.275, not 1.125. Make a note, the radius is 1.275. This radius right here. Make a note, okay? Did I turn my recording on? No.
Recording in progress.
Yes, so one more time. So this radius right here is not 1.125. That radius is 1.275. So make a change, make a note on that. This radius, change that please. That radius right here is not 1.125. That radius is 1.275 right there. All right, so be careful. This is wrong. So, so we're going to start with the construction plane top, and we're going to create this radius 1.275. We're going to arc polar, create those two arc, and then we're going to create these two whole circles, and those radiuses are 0.88. Let me go ahead and delete that. Okay. All right. So create that radius, which is, like I said, 1.275, not 1.125. Make a note on that. So I'm going to go to arc polar in the top plane, draw these two arcs, and draw these two circles, which is radius 880. And then we're going to create these two arc polar, and we're going to join this with the tangent line. Okay, so let's draw this 1.275 arc right here. Again, make a note here, this is 1.275, not 1.125. Okay, here, file, I'm not going to save it, new, save it, no, don't save it. Here we go. Okay, so we are on construction plane top. Let's go to 2D, construction plane top, it's Z0, and create arc polar again. With that center point, I'm going to just go ahead and start from there to.
Professor, you're not recording.
I think I'm recording.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, it's recording right there. It's good. Okay, so that radius is, again, I'm telling over and over again, that radius is not 1.125, that radius is 1.275. So make sure you put that radius 1.275. Correction on that, guys, please, okay, on your blueprint. So there we go. I and the same arc, I'm going to do the same center point, click from there to there, radius 1.275. Okay. I'm going to change the colors here to green, and my system color, I will also make wireframe color green too. All right, good. So now comes my two arcs, radius 0.88. Those holes are 5/8, 0.625, minus 2.25 on x, y, 0. Okay, create a circle point, outer cursor, x over here is minus 2.25 comma 0, and this hole is right there, and the diameter of the hole is 0.625. Okay, second arc, go to auto cursor, that is 2.25 comma 0. It's over here. And the diameter is 5/8.625. Here we go. Now we're going to create these arc right here, radius 888 with the same center. We can go arc polar, create this arc right here and this arc over here. So arc polar again with same center point. I'm going to start maybe over here to there, and the radius is 0.88. Okay. Same arc from that start point to there. Again, radius is 0.88. Hit OK. Now let's go and join the line. Create line endpoints. Make sure your tangent option is on. Freeform line. Tangent to this and this. This to that. This to this. And this to this. Use your divide command. Clear the extra arcs. We don't need those. There we are. So these are, if you go to home and say analyze, these radiuses arcs are 1.275. That's what we need. And this arc right there, 1.275. Okay, good. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to draw this rectangle over here, this guy. And I'm going to rotate that. While I draw that, I'm going to rotate that to 45 degrees. It's right on the center. This is your width, 1.76. Your height is 1.75. And that's right on the center. Let's do that. We are still on the top construction plane. Wireframe. Go to rectangular shapes. And here comes my 1.76 is my width. Height is 1.75. And make sure you say I'm going to rotate that to 45 degree. And it's right there. Even if you go to 0, that's how you do it. You start it, but you're going to rotate that to 45 degrees. Here we go. And hit OK. So you go to home and you analyze again. This has to be 1.76. Click that. The length is 1.76, which is good. And this has to be 1.75. There we go. That's good. And that's what it shows on the blueprint. This is 1.75. This is 1.76. All right. Okay. So from this, what I'm going to do now, if you look at your blueprint, we have drawn this on the top view. So I'm going to go and translate that z minus 0.69. I'm going to make this thickness. And this square or rectangle we created, I'm going to translate that to z positive 1.31. And we're going to join that. So let's translate this geometry right here, 2.69. So we're going to go to Xform, translate, hold the Shift key down, and select that chain. And selection, and you say I want to translate that Z minus 0.69. Okay. Don't join that one, just say copy, hit OK. And I'm going to hold the Shift key down and pick one of this entity. It's going to select the entire chain. At end of the selection. And this one, I'm going to translate to 1.31 right here, guys. 1.31. So translate that to 1.31. And make sure you join this time, all the corners. Apply. Hit OK. Hit the escape key. Right click, clear colors. All right. Now look at this drawing right here. We have this hole right on that center, on that line right there. That is 5/8. And then we have radiuses over here. We have radiuses over here, which is radius 888. So which is this radius over here and one on the back. So let's create that 0.88 radiuses. So I can create those holes first. 5/8 hole. Now to do that here, guys, we're going to create arc radiuses on from this endpoint to this endpoint and this endpoint to this endpoint. So here we have to create a plane first, plane by geometry, like we did in the past. So I'll go to planes, and I'm going to say create a plane from geometry. Click that. Set the construction plane by geometry, select entity, that's your X, this is your Y. Right hand rule, this is perfect, this is good, right there, look at that. Right hand rule. My thumb going to the right X, Y going first finger up, Z middle finger towards you, Z plus, that's good. Look at the other options. That's not good, this is not good, this is not good. No, 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 no. Yes, right hand rule. So that's going to be my plane. And hit OK. And I can name this plane 45-degree. There you go. Okay. So I have to be in that plane to create an arc and to create a circle in the center point here. So let's go to that plane. Go to plane, click on that, named plane. That plane is 45-degree over here. Select it. Look at that. Now we are in 45-degree plane. All right, so I can go to wireframe. My circle is going to be right in the middle over here. That's my center point. And this diameter is 625, 5/8. Perfect. I can do the same circle here in the back. But if you click here, look at the circle comes right here because I'm in 2D. If I'm going to change to 3D, hit escape key, I'm going to go to 3D. Now I can select that center point and my circle is going to be there. So here you don't have to be move your Z back over here like we used to do that. If you are in 2D, then you have to move your Z back over here. Now my Z is still over here, but I'm in 3D, so it's going to pick up in 3D center point of that. So that diameter is 0.625. Okay. And hit OK. Now I can create arc endpoints. And these radiuses of the arcs are, if you look at here, the radius of the arc is 0.888. These arcs right there. So radius 0.888. So I'm in 3D. We can start from here. First point. Cannot create that arc. Come on. Start point here. Start point here. Radius is 0.88. Okay. Start there. Start there. Look at that. Now we have to be in 2D because we selected at the wrong place. See that? So you have to be very careful when you're doing 3D. So let me go ahead and go back to 2D, and we can create that again. Here, 2D. So we're going to start here first. Create arc endpoints. Radius is 0.88. I'm going to start from there and there, and select an arc. This is my arc. Hit OK. So now I'm going to go back Z my over here. Click on Z. That Z is back over here. 1.75. Good. So radius, put the radius first, 0.88. First point and second point. And select an arc. This is my arc. There you go. Hit OK. I do not need these lines right here. I can get rid of these lines. Just go ahead and delete them, or you can hide them. Doesn't matter. You don't need those lines. All right. Okay, let's go back to construction plane top and start creating our surfaces. So this completes the 3D wireframe. Right there. Now let's start creating a surface. There is radius typical fillets, 120,000. On this edge, this is 120,000 fillet, and this is 120,000 fillet, and there's a fillet 120,000 right here, which is, you see this over here, that's 130,000 fillet, 120,000. So let's create the surfaces first, guys. So for the surface, we can go to surfaces, loft. The first surface I'm going to click, make sure you use a chain. And I can start anywhere on this geometry. That's my first chain. And make sure you start right there at the same point. So it's going to be my second chain. Hit OK. Hit OK. That creates that surface right there. So it's very important where you select the first chain, the second chain you must select right there. So if I'm going to go ahead and show you, undo it, go to loft. Let's say you select this one over here. First chain, right, starts here and here. The other one you starts right there, and hit OK. Your surface is going to be like that. It's going to be a crooked surface. So be careful with the loft surfaces. Loft, you're starting this chain here that starts from this point. The second chain should start right there, the same point. So select chain, start this one, or you can start from here. The next one should start at the same point. Doesn't matter. They have to be coincident. Okay, select right there, one chain, chain two, same start point, end point, good. Hit OK. Perfect. All right. Now I'm going to create a flat boundary over here on the top. So go to flat boundary, and there is my flat boundary, chain one, and I can pick chain two, and I can pick chain three so I can see the holes there. All right. Hit OK. I can do the flat boundary on the bottom too, right there. And chain, hit OK. We have a flat boundary at the bottom and top. All right. Now I can create a surface over here, which is going to be my loft. Let's do flat boundary here. Finish this guy here first. Flat boundary. Pick this and that. Hit OK. Chain end. OK. And I'm going to pick second one starts from here to there and chain. Hit OK. That's made that surface. And I can also pick partial this time. This is my first chain. This is my last. Chain two, first and last. And that's my surface right there. Boundary, okay, no, not flat boundary, sorry. This is not flat boundary. This is going to be my loft surface, sorry. So partial, pick this one. Last entity is right here. Chain two, first entity and your last entity. And chain, hit OK. There is your surface loft between those two. All right. Okay. Now I can, to make a hole through, I can trim that surface through that curve because it has to be in construction plane top. We are in top plane. So I can go ahead and say trim to curve. I want to trim this surface and selection. And curve one, this is my curve one, this is my curve two. Oh, sorry, it has to be chain over here, guys. So unselect that. Make sure you go chain. Chain curve one, chain curve two. Hit OK. Hit OK. Indicate the area to keep the selecting surface to be trimmed. I want to trim this surface. I want to keep this. It's going to make that hole right there. There we go. Now, while we are in construction plane top, I can create a surface with this, which is going to be my draft surface. So while we're in the top plane, pick draft surface. And in the draft surface, I'm going to pick this guy here and pick this guy here. Hit OK. And hit OK. I can go ahead and the opposite side. And my distance here is, if you look at the blueprint, that is 690. So I can go and say my length is 0.690. There you go. That will create a surface on the holes too. You have to be in top, construction plane top, while you're doing this. If you change to top to front, look at your surface is going to be like this. Always normal to a surface, they are plane dependent. If you go construction plane right, the surface is going to go like this. You always look from the top and see that is normal to top plane, so that's the way it should be. Here we go. Hit OK. Same thing we can do with this guy right here. We can trim that surface and we can create a ruled surface. So let's do that. I'll go and trim to curve. I want to trim this surface. And end selection. Curve is this. Hit OK, hit OK. Indicate the area. I want to trim this and I want to keep this side. Some curves do not project it because we are not in the right plane. So we have to go to construction plane, named, go plane 45 degrees. Is that the plane we created? I think so, yeah. Here you go. So we are in that plane. Now we can trim the curve. Trim surface. Trim to curves. I want to trim this surface. And I can select this surface too at the same time. End selection. This is my curve. Chain 2, I'm done. Just type in one chain, hit OK. And trim to the curve, select the surface. I want to trim this, I want to keep this. So it should trim both. Here we go, look at that. Make a clear hole. Hit OK. And now we can create a loft surface between these two. We have 1 and 2, chain 2. Hit OK. And hit OK. There is your surface right there. Hit OK. So at this point, we have pretty much finished except those fillets, radius 120,000 fillet. That fillet is going to be between surface to surface on all around the part, on the boss and on the base also. So what we're going to do, I'm going to go ahead, move my surface in different levels, save it in different levels, select all surfaces and level we have. Okay, let's move surface to level 2. Right click, select surfaces, and we're going to move to level 2 and we're going to name those surfaces. Okay. So under level 2, turn the surface on, turn the geometry off. There we are. You can go construction plane back to top. I can have my back to Z0. And start creating your fillets. Okay, to create a fillet, guys, you have to do this in order. So I'm going to go fillet surfaces. So let's do this on this edge right here. So it says select the first set. This is my first set, hit enter. Second set, this is my second set, hit enter. And there is your fillet 120,000. Make sure you trim. If you're not going to if you don't check this, it will not trim. There's a fillet, but it will not trim the original surface. So you say trim, and you want to trim both set surfaces. You want to delete them. Okay, good. Hit OK. So after that done, before we're going to make a surface on this on the bottom right here, which is going to be this guy over here. Before you do that, make sure you make these surfaces right there. These two first, this one and back on here. And then we're going to make the last, we're going to do this on the base. So select first set. This is my first set. Let's try both at the same time. And this also, that's my first set. Hit enter. This is my second set. Hit enter. No fillets found. The reason is that our normals are not right. So I'll say OK. Modify normals. Look at the normals. This normal is out. This is out. We are cutting a fillet. This has to be in. This normal has to be in. This normal has to be in. And hit enter. There's my fillet. So the normal has to be inside to make that fillet. If you get that escape key, I'm going to just go ahead and undo it. And undo it. That's this fillet. I'll redo that. Bring it back. Let's do it. Here we go. We're going to do one more time. Isometric. Because you cannot get this fillet on the bottom until you get this corner fillet, because this is going to blend with this over here, guys. That's what it is. Look at this, how that fillet is separated from that. So we have to make that fillet first. Then this is going to blend with this fillet right here, the corners. So this has to cut first, this corner, the one we are doing right now. Okay, one more time. Fillet to surface. So your first set is going to be 1, go revolve around, number 2. So that's your first set. Hit enter. Second set, the one is common. That's my second set. Hit enter. That is your fillet. If you cannot get the fillet, that means your normals are out like this. If your normals are out like this, guys, and you hit enter, it says no fillets found. So this is what happened earlier, if you guys remember. If no fillets found, it says hit OK. Go and check your normals. Say modify normal. All the normal has to go inside to make a fillet inside. So click on that normal inside, make this normal. The greens are normals. Let the arrow go down, and same thing on this one, let the arrow go down. So that is good. Hit enter, and you get 120,000 fillet right there. That's good. Hit OK. Now the last fillet is going to be on the base. This is what I was telling you, because this has to blend with this here, so we have to have these fillets first. So first set, again, is going to be this here and this here. That's your one set. Hit enter. Second set, 1, 2, 3, go revolve around, 4, and 5. That's your second set. And hit enter. Look at the problem we have over here. It's cutting fillet, it's making fillet inside. I can tell my normals are inside. If you get that weird, so in this case, this normal has to go up and it trimmed that surface. This normal has to go up. This has to go out. All these normal has to go out. So Go modify normals. Look at that. That is not good. So let's start with this normal here. That normal for the fillet has to go out. Click it. Good. This normal, the one you see the center is for this surface, the top surface. That is okay. This normal has to go out. 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 And this normal has to go out. All the normal has to be out. The last one we did the fillet inside, the normal was in. Now we have to out, hit enter, and there comes your fillet. Look at that. Look at this, how it blends together with this set right here. Hit OK. Undo it. Let's do one more time. So those normals has to be out. If you go to normals over here, change, you select that, just see that normal is out. Before you're doing it, you want to check, you can do that. Just go to normals right here under your surface, go to change. If you look, just bring your cursor, don't click anywhere, just bring your cursor, the normal is out. If you click on that, the normal is going to go in. Look at that. No, that is not good. So that's out, that's good. Check that fillet, normal is out. That's out, good. So bring that cursor to here, normal is out. On this one, 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 normal is out. Go around. On this one, normal is out. Normal is out. So we are good. So right now, our normals are fine. So let's make a fillet, and it should be okay. So select the surface or mesh to flip normals. We are not. If you click on that, guys, it will flip the normal. Let's say I'm going to click it. Normal is in. That's not good. This is just to check. I am just checking. Everything looks good. Hit the escape key. Let's go to fillet surface to surface. First one. So first set. This guy and this is my first set. Those two surfaces, the flat boundary and the fillet, is first set. Hit enter. Second set, 1, 2, 3, go around, 4, 5. That's my second set. Hit enter. Now my normals were perfect. We should have no problem getting the fillets. There you go. So this set and this set has to be the first set. Hit OK. And that finishes your part. That finishes your project number 14. I'm going to go ahead and just pause this recording.
Recording stopped.
Okay.
I have questions.
Yes.
So when we're doing the fillet, the normal has to be always out, or
No. Look at this fillet. We are cutting inside. This in this one, the normal has to be in. This fillet is cutting. Look at that. That is cutting outward. The normal has to be out. On this is going to be all out. But this one is going to be in.
oh, I see.
So it depends on the fillet. So where's the center of the fillet of this fillet? The center is inside, right? The center of the fillet. So the normal has to be inside towards the center of the fillet. Now look at this fillet right here. This fillet, where's the center of the fillet? Outside over here. So the normal has to be out. So normal has to be always towards the center of the fillet.
Oh, I see, I see. Thank
Yes,
you.
so if I'm going to go ahead, give me 1 second, let me show you. I'm going to go to front view right there. So in the front view, my Z is 0. So I'm going to go and wireframe. I'm going to create a line. There is my line right there. And there's my another line right there. I have another line right there. And I have another line right there. So if I'm going to make a fillet entity radius, let's say 0.1 here. Let's make it 0.250. So you can see it. Trim it. And there. So here, if here my fillet, I'm cutting inside. So in this case, if that's my surface, my normal has to be in because the center of the fillet is right here. So normal has to be in. Here my fillet is outside. The way the center of the fillet is going to be, the normal has to be towards the center, always towards the center of the fillet. My center of the fillet is where? It's right here, right? So that's where my normal has to be in, always towards the center. So going back this fillet right here, that fillet is center point is inside, so the normal has to be in. Now look at these fillets right here, this one here, the center of the fillet is outside, which is like this over here, so the normal has to be towards the center, so that's why my normal were outside. That's how this works.
I
So
see.
your
Thank you.
normal has to be always towards the center of the fillet. Now the center of the fillet is over here. These normals cannot be outwards. It has to be inward towards this. This center of the fillet is right here. The normal has to be inside towards the center. Always.
And
Got it? Make sense?
uh, I have another question.
Mm-hmm.
When you're doing the top for the surface between the holes,
Uh-huh.
yeah. Why did we need to create that lock?
No, you have to just we have a geometry already, right? Under level 1. If you look at here, we already have that line, those arcs, right?
Right.
But the plane has to be your plane 45 degrees. This plane, you have to be in this plane to create the draft surface because draft surface is always normal to the plane.
Right.
If you're in the top plane and front plane, you cannot do that. You can only do that surface at the plane which is normal to that, and that plane was my 45-degree plane. That's the only thing. And same thing when you do these holes right here, draft on this hole, your plane is top, so you have to be in top plane when you're going to do this top surface. See, if you're in 45-degree plane, you can do this, your draft surface. Let me go ahead and go to level, and I'm going to turn surface off. So here, if you want to make a draft surface between this, you have to be in plane 45 degrees, and I can go surface, I can go draft, and I'm going to select this guy right here and go ahead, and there is my draft, and I can go any length, doesn't matter. That's my draft in that surface. If I'll go and change that surface to